I'm 84 years old, and I want to say something that many older people feel, but very few say out loud. Most people do not lose their independence in one dramatic moment. They lose it quietly, one small surrender at a time, one skipped walk, one avoided errand, one decision handed to someone else, one day spent inside, 1 week without speaking to anyone, 1 month of saying, "I'll deal with it later." And then one day they look around and realize their life has gotten smaller, not all at once, but enough. Enough that they no longer trust their body. Enough that they no longer go where they used to go. Enough that other people start making decisions for them. Enough that freedom begins slipping through their hands before they even understand it is leaving. That is how it happens, and if you are over 60 or 70, or even younger and thinking about the kind of old age you want, I need you to hear me carefully. A nursing home does not begin with an ambulance. It begins with shrinking, and shrinking always looks innocent in the beginning. You stay in one day because you are tired. You skip one walk because the weather is bad. You stop driving at night. Then you stop driving far. Then you stop going out unless someone is with you. Then you stop wanting to bother people. Then people start saying, maybe it would be easier if someone helped you with that. And easy, my dear, is one of the most dangerous words in old age, because easy is often where freedom goes to disappear. I am not saying help is bad. Sometimes help is necessary. Sometimes help is a blessing. But there is a great difference between receiving help and slowly forgetting how to live your own life. And that is what I refused to let happen to me. Not because I was stronger than everyone else. Not because I was luckier. Not because my body never changed. It did. It still does. My knees complain. My balance is not what it was. Some mornings I stand more slowly than I used to. I know what aging feels like. I know what it means to open a jar and think, well, that used to be easier. I know what it means to feel the world trying, little by little, to become less accessible. But I also know this. Independence is not something you keep by accident. You protect it, deliberately, daily. And over the years, I made certain rules for myself. Not grand rules, not expensive rules, not complicated rules, simple habits, quiet habits, but powerful enough that they kept my life from closing in around me. And today, I want to share them with you. Not because I think everyone's path is the same, because the pattern is. The loss of freedom follows patterns, and so does the protection of it. If you wait until you desperately need these habits, it may already be too late. That is the uncomfortable truth. You must begin while you still can, while you can still stand, still decide, still walk, still go, still think clearly enough to shape your days. So let us begin. And the first habit may sound so small that some people will underestimate it. That would be a mistake. Habit number 1, leave the house every day. Yes, every day. If I can stand, I go outside. Not because I am energetic every morning. Not because I always feel like it. Not because I have some glamorous destination waiting for me. I go because staying inside too often is how people start vanishing from their own lives. It never looks dangerous at first. That is what makes it dangerous. You skip one outing because your body feels stiff. You cancel another because it is windy. You decide there is no real reason to go today. Then another day passes, then another. And slowly, the world outside stops feeling like yours. The street becomes unfamiliar. Your confidence weakens. Your legs weaken too. Your sense of belonging weakens with them. Until one day, leaving the house feels like an event. Then it feels like a risk. Then it feels almost impossible. I watched this happen to a woman I knew years ago. Her name was Ruth. She used to walk to the corner shop every morning. Nothing dramatic, just a few streets, a little routine, a little purpose. Then one winter she stopped going out as much. Cold weather, low energy, a little pain in the hips, perfectly understandable reasons. But what began as a temporary pause slowly became her new life. Once a week became once every 2 weeks, then only when someone drove her, then not at all. Within 2 years, she was not living in her home anymore, not because she wanted to leave, because she had become too unfamiliar with moving through the world on her own. That is how fast it can happen. Not overnight, gradually enough that you keep thinking there is still time to reverse it later. Maybe there is, but why let it get that far? So I made a rule. I do not negotiate with that part of myself that wants to withdraw too easily. I go out. Sometimes it is just to the gate, sometimes to the corner, sometimes around the block, sometimes to buy one silly little thing I do not even need, but I go. Because every time I step outside, I am reminding my body and my mind of something essential. This world still belongs to me. My legs still matter. My choices still matter. My presence still matters. And that matters more than people understand. Because independence is not just about strength. It is about psychological territory. Once the outside world stops feeling like yours, the inside world becomes smaller too. So leave the house, even briefly, even slowly, even if you do not feel impressive doing it. The point is not performance. The point is participation. Habit number 2, speak to another human being every day out loud with your voice, not by scrolling, not by watching videos in silence. Not by reading comments and thinking that counts as connection, a real voice, a real exchange, a real moment where another human being hears you and you hear them. After my husband died, the silence in this house became something I was not prepared for. People talk about grief as sadness, and yes, grief is sadness. But grief is also silence, no footsteps, no one asking where the scissors are, no one complaining about the weather, no one calling from another room, just silence. And silence, if you are not careful, can begin teaching you very dangerous things. It can teach you that you are no longer needed, that you are no longer relevant, that your voice is no longer part of the day. And when an older person begins believing that, decline often follows faster than anyone expects, because the day you stop being heard is often the day you begin becoming invisible to yourself. So I made another rule. Every day I had to speak to someone. Some days it was a proper conversation with a friend. Some days it was the cashier. Some days it was the woman next door watering her plants. Some days it was a stranger walking a dog, but every day I used my voice, because voice keeps a person present. Voice keeps you in circulation. Voice reminds the nervous system that you are still participating in human life. And I do not say that poetically, I mean it physically too. Loneliness changes the body. It changes sleep, appetite, motivation, movement, memory, even posture. A lonely body carries itself differently from a connected one. It shrinks inward. It becomes less willing to keep trying. I once knew a man after his wife died who barely spoke to anyone for months. At first people said, he just needs time. And yes, he needed time. But what he also needed was interruption. Because too much silence can start convincing a person that disappearing would hardly matter. Within a year, he looked decades older. Not because 1 year did that, because disconnection did. So speak, even when you do not feel chatty, even when it seems small, even when you think, well, what difference does one conversation make? One conversation makes more difference than most older people realize, because human beings do not stay fully alive through food and medicine alone. We stay alive through contact, through recognition, through being answered. Habit number 3, keep making your own decisions, even small ones, especially small ones. What time you wake up, what you eat, what you wear, where you go, how you spend your money, what you say yes to, what you say no to. These things matter, because one of the most dangerous shifts in old age is not physical, it is decision loss. And decision loss rarely begins with one dramatic moment. It begins with convenience. Someone says, "Let me handle that for you." And sometimes that is kind, sometimes it is useful. But if you let too many decisions go, something subtle happens. Your life starts feeling less authored by you, and once that happens, it becomes easier and easier for other people to manage you instead of support you. I saw this happen with my older cousin. At first, her children were just helping. They chose the groceries because it was easier, scheduled the appointments because it was faster, handled the bills because it was more efficient. Then they began deciding what time she should wake, what she should eat, when she should go out, whether she should still live alone. Everything they did sounded reasonable. That is the frightening part. Loss of independence often arrives dressed as reason. And because she had already handed away so many little decisions, when the big decisions came, she no longer had the habit of standing in her own life. So I told myself something years ago: no matter how old I get, I must remain the author of my ordinary days. Not because I am stubborn for the sake of being stubborn, because if you stop deciding, you slowly stop existing as a full adult in your own story. And once you become a problem to be managed, it is very hard to return to being a person with agency. So make choices, real ones. Do not let convenience take over everything. Do not let other people do for you what you can still do yourself. Yes, accept help where you truly need it, but do not surrender authorship. There is a difference, and that difference is freedom. Habit number 4, prepare before the crisis comes. This one may be the most overlooked of all, and perhaps the most powerful. I prepared before I was desperate, not because I was pessimistic, because I was realistic. Aging does not wait until you feel emotionally ready. It does not politely warn you 6 months ahead and ask whether next Tuesday would be a better time to take some strength from your legs or some sharpness from your memory. No, it takes a little at a time, and most people make the mistake of pretending that if they do not think about decline, they are somehow avoiding it. They are not. They are simply making sure they meet it unprepared. That is a terrible bargain. So while I was still strong enough, I looked ahead. I made the home safer. I cleared tripping hazards. I paid attention to lighting. I organized important documents. I wrote things down. I simplified where I could. I made plans while I still had the strength and clarity to make them, not because I was surrendering to old age, because I was defending myself against crisis-led decisions. A crisis is a terrible time to start thinking clearly. That is when other people panic. That is when rushed choices happen. That is when someone says, "For now, let's just move you somewhere safer," and suddenly, "for now," becomes the rest of your life. I refused to let one fall, one hospital visit, one bad month write the ending of my story for me. So I prepared. I protected my future self. That is how I think of it. Preparation is not fear. Preparation is respect. Respect for the version of you that may one day be more tired, slower, shakier, or overwhelmed. That future self deserves help from the present self. So do not wait. Make the home easier now. organize what matters now. Simplify where you can now, because freedom does not disappear only from weakness. Sometimes it disappears because confusion got there first. Habit number 5, stay needed. This one may be the deepest habit of all. I made sure someone still needed me, not in some grand, dramatic way, not because the world cannot go on without me. It can. That is one of the humbling facts of age. But I needed to know that somewhere, somehow, my presence still made a difference, that someone noticed if I showed up, that someone would feel it if I didn't. Because when an older person starts feeling unnecessary, something in them often begins letting go. They stop taking care of themselves with the same seriousness. They stop planning, stop trying, stop protecting their freedom, because deep down, a dangerous thought begins growing. What difference does it make? And once that question gets rooted in a person, decline often speeds up. I saw it happen to a man on our street after his wife died. No children nearby, no routine, no one expecting him anywhere, no one waiting for him, no one depending on him for even a small thing. And within a year, he seemed 20 years older, not because time had suddenly attacked him, because purpose had left the building. That is why I made my own quiet promise. As long as someone needs me, even in a small way, I will keep showing up. I send birthday cards. I check on a neighbor. I water plants when someone is away. I reply. I remember. I offer. I make myself part of the thread. Because purpose is not only found in jobs and large responsibilities. At this age, purpose often lives in very small acts. And small acts are enough. They are more than enough. A child who expects your card, a neighbor who counts on your help, a friend who knows you will call, a library where you read, a community place where your face matters. These things keep a person in motion. They keep the soul invested, and an invested soul fights harder to remain independent than an abandoned one. Habit number 6. Do not let your body forget you. Now I want to add something deeper here, because many older people think independence is only social or emotional. It is not. It is physical too. And one of the cruelest things about aging is this: the body forgets quickly. If you stop bending, it forgets bending. If you stop walking, it forgets walking. If you stop reaching, it forgets reaching. If you stop carrying, it forgets carrying. The body is always listening to what you stop asking from it. So I did not allow myself to become too precious about discomfort. I am not talking about ignoring serious pain. I am talking about refusing to surrender to every small inconvenience. If I could get up myself, I got up. If I could carry it, I carried it. If I could reach it safely, I reached it. If I could sweep, wipe, lift, or arrange something, I did it. Because a body that is never asked to work begins quietly preparing itself for dependency. And dependency, once it settles in, is harder to reverse than most people think. This is why I say to older people, do not retire from movement. Retire from exhaustion, perhaps. Retire from nonsense, certainly. But do not retire from using your body. A person who uses their body remains in conversation with life. A person who stops using it is often already slipping out of that conversation. Habit number 7. Refuse to become easy to put away. This is a hard sentence, but it is true. Old people who become too passive, too apologetic, too absent from their own lives often become easier for the world to put away. And I do not mean that cruelly. I mean practically. If you stop going out, people assume you no longer want to. If you stop choosing, people assume you no longer can. If you stop speaking, people assume you have less to say. If you stop showing up, people start arranging life without you. That is why I stayed visible. I stayed involved. I stayed difficult to erase. Not rude, not dramatic, just present. Because presence is protective. I wanted my life to have weight. Enough weight that it could not be easily packed into a box labeled too old, too fragile, or better for her if... I have heard those phrases. Many older people have, and sometimes they are said with love. That is what makes them powerful, but love without vigilance can still take your freedom if you are not careful. So I stayed in the frame. I stayed in the decisions, I stayed in the errands, I stayed in the world. Because if you remove yourself too early, the world is often quick to continue without asking whether you were ready. Bringing it all together. So what are these habits really about? They are about one thing, refusing to let life shrink unnoticed. That is the real enemy, not just illness, not just age, shrinkage, a smaller world, a smaller body, a smaller voice, a smaller will, a smaller sense of purpose. That is how freedom disappears, quietly, gradually, reasonably, and that is why the habits that protect it are also quiet. Go outside, speak, decide, prepare, stay needed, use your body, stay visible. These are not glamorous acts, they are protective acts. They are the ordinary architecture of independence. I'm 84 years old. I wake up in my own bed. I move through my own rooms. I still know where my things are. I still know how I want the day to go. Not because I defeated age. No one does that. Because I refused to disappear before I was truly gone. That is the difference. And I want that for you too. I do not want you waiting until fear forces you into action. I do not want you waiting until one bad month makes decisions for you. I do not want you waking up one day and realizing that while you were being careful, reasonable, and tired, your life had quietly become smaller than you ever intended. Start now, whatever your age, whatever your strength level, whatever your current situation, start now. Because freedom is much easier to protect than it is to recover. And one day, when your body is slower and your circle is smaller, and the world tries to close in a little around you, these habits will be the difference between merely existing somewhere and still belonging fully to your own life. Thank you for listening to me. Protect your freedom while it is still yours to protect. Because the nursing home does not begin the day you move in. It begins the day you stop living like your independence matters.